Saint Augustine, commentary on Psalm 94 following. Who will rise up for me against the wicked, or who will take my part against the evildoers? Verse 16. Many persuade us to diverse evils. The serpent causes not to whisper to you to work iniquity. Whichever way you shall turn, if perchance you has done well, you seek to live well with someone, and you hardly find anyone. Many wicked men surround you, for there are few grains of wheat and much chaff. This floor has its grains of corn, but as yet they suffer. Therefore, the whole mass of the wheat, when separated from the chaff, will be great. The grains are few, but when compared with the chaff, still many in themselves. When therefore the wicked cry out on every side and say, "Why live you thus? Are you the only Christian? Why do you not do what others also do? Why do you not frequent the theaters as others do? Why do you not use charms and amulets? Why do you not consult astrologers and soothsayers, even as others do? And you cross yourself and say, I am Christian, that you may repel them whosoever they are. But the enemy presses on, urges his attacks. What is worse, by the example of Christians, he shocks Christians. They toil on in the midst of heat. The Christian soul suffers tribulation, yet it has power to conquer. Has it such power of itself? For this reason, remark what he said. For he answers, what does it profit me that I now find charms for myself and gain a few days? I depart hence from this life and repair unto my Lord, who shall send me into the flames. Because I have preferred a few days to life eternal, he shall send me into hell. What hell? That of the eternal judgment of God. Is it really so? The enemy answers, unless indeed you really believe that God cares how men live. And perhaps it is not an acquaintance who speaks thus to you in the street, but your wife at home, or possibly the husband to the faithful and holy wife, her deceiver. If it be the woman to her husband, she is as Eve unto him. If as the husband unto the wife, he is as the devil unto her. Either she is herself as Eve unto you, or you are a serpent unto her. Sometimes the father would incline his thoughts to his son, and finds him wicked, utterly depraved. He is in a fever of misery, he wavers, he seeks how to subdue him, he is almost droning and consents, but may God be near him. If the Lord, he says, had not helped me, within a little my soul had dwelt in hell. Verse 17. I had almost plunged into that pit which is preparing for sinners. That is, my soul had dwelt in hell, because he already began to waver, and nearly to consent, he looked back unto the Lord. Suppose, for example's sake, he was insulted to tempt him to iniquity. For sometimes the wicked flock together and insult the good, especially if they are more in number, and if they have taken him alone, as there is often much chaff about one grain of wheat, though there will not be when the heap has been fanned. He is then taken among many wicked ones, is insulted and surrounded. They wish to place themselves over him, they torment him and insult him for his very righteousness. A greater person, say they, you have flown into heaven as Elijah did. Men do these things so that sometimes, when he listens to the tongue of man, he is ashamed to be good among the wicked. Let him therefore resist the evil, but not of his own strength, lest he become proud, and when he wishes to escape the proud, himself increase their number. If I said, my foot has slipped, your mercy, O Lord, held me up. Verse 18. See how God loves confession. Your foot has slipped, and you say not, my foot has slipped, but you say, you are firm when you are slipping. The moment you begin to slip or waver, confess you that slip, that you may not bewail your total fall, that he may help, so that your soul may be not in hell. God loves confession, loves humility. You have slipped as a man, God helps you, nevertheless, yet say, my foot has slipped. Why do you slip and yet say, I am firm? When I said, my foot has slipped, your mercy, O Lord, had held me up. Just as Peter presumed, but not in strength to his own, the Lord was seen to walk upon the sea, trampling on the heads of all the proud in this life. In walking upon the foaming waves, he figured his own course when he tramples on the heads of the proud. The church too does trample upon them, for Peter is the church herself. Nevertheless, Peter dared not by himself walk upon the waters. But what said he? Lord, if it be you, bid me come unto you on the water. Matthew 14:28. He, in his own power, Peter by his order. Bid me, he said, come unto you. He answered, come, for the church also tramples on the heads of the proud. But since it is the church, and has human weakness, that these words might be fulfilled. If I said, my foot has slipped, Peter tottered on the sea and cried out, Lord, save me. Matthew 14:30. And so what is here put, if I said, my foot has slipped, is put there, Lord, I perish. And what is here, your mercy, O Lord, had me up, is there put, and immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand, saying, O you of little faith, wherefore did you doubt? Matthew 14:31. It is wonderful how God proves man. Our very dangers render him who rescues us sweeter unto us. For see what follows, because he said, if I said, my foot has slipped, your mercy, O Lord, has held me up. The Lord has become especially sweet unto him in rescuing him from danger, and thus speaking of this very sweetness of the Lord, he exclaims and says, O Lord, in the multitude of the sorrows that I had in my heart, your comforts have refreshed my soul. Verse 19. Many sorrows, but many consolations, bitter wounds, and sweet remedies.